Hi, fourth graders. It's Miss Bruin in the virtual science lab. And this video will hopefully help us figure out what information we can trust and what information we can't trust. When I was growing up, it was said that 80% of the information on the internet was not true. I'm not sure how true that statistic is now, but I do know that anyone can post anything on the internet. So, how do we find reliable information? And we have to ask ourselves whenever we're looking at any information on the internet, who's the author? That's like the first big question. Does that author represent or is that author connected to an organization? And we also have to ask about our audience. So, like, who is this information intended for? So, those are two big questions you could ask, but you can also do a little test. When looking at any kind of resource for any reason, not just for this research project, but you can train your brain to scan the end of that website address before you click on the link. So before you click on any link, train your brain to look at the end of your website. And the little test is that if it ends in .edu, if it ends in .gov, or if it ends in .org, you can usually trust that information more than other websites. So those are all good. You can usually trust those sources that end in all three of those endings. And if it ends in .com, that means that it's owned by a company. So it could be connected with some private interests, someone who works for a certain corporation. So you might be getting information that is a bit more angled. They might want to sell something to you. They might want to promote their products. So you have to be a little bit more skeptical about websites that end in .com. If it ends in .edu, it's connected with a school. If it ends in .gov, it's connected with the government. If it ends in .org, it's usually connected with an organization that's trying to make the world better, usually. So let's try it. Let's go find some reliable resources. So, fourth graders, if you type in wind power because you want to find out more about how we're harnessing the power of wind to give us electricity, the first thing that comes up is this Wikipedia post. And now, Wikipedia, you might find factual information, reliable information on Wikipedia, but anybody can post there. So I would actually skip down to some of these other websites. And if we look at each of the websites that comes up, it's actually a good sign. I've now trained my brain to look at the end. We see that this website ends in a .gov, which is a good sign. So that is definitely a website I could check out, click on, and see what they have to say. The next one as well, energy.gov. So we know that that's related to our government. So that information is coming from our government, which is a good sign. And then we have a .org here. So before I click on it, I might want to just read down here and see like what kind of organization is this? And it looks like the information we can get from here is pretty reliable because it's international. It's not one country's idea, it's an international renewable energy agency. So I would definitely check that out as well. Then we have another .gov, and then we have some of these listings. Now, these you have to watch out for because there's no website here, but if I click on here, let's click on where it says website. Oh, the website is beautiful. This will change the way you look at wind power. I'm scrolling down trying to figure out whether this information is reliable. It looks like this is a company that creates wind turbines. So it builds wind turbines. Let's just make sure here. So this is one of those. Oh, and look, it's a .com, prostowind.com. So it's actually a company that is trying to promote and sell wind turbines. So with a website like this, it ends in a .com. We just have to be aware. It's not that we might not be able to trust this information. They might be giving us good information, but we do have to keep in mind that their goal is to sell their product. So make sure that you keep that in mind. So when you're looking at different kinds of sources, just be aware and look at the end of each of those websites so that you can look at the information that you're getting with a little bit of a critical eye. You can then take the information that you're getting and balance it with other information that you're getting from other websites and see who you believe more. See who's more credible, who is more reliable, who can you trust. And this is actually a skill that's going to help you for the rest of your life. It's something, once I discovered this little test, I now use it automatically. I look immediately to see where's this information coming from? What is this source? Can I trust it? Or is it the work of a company that might be trying to shape the way that I'm thinking about this? Good luck, fourth grade. And I hope this helps you in your research projects for this project as well as future projects.